Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. Of course, I'm in the midst of my The Omen movie reviews from this awesome, everything's trying to run away, awesome box set from Scream Factory. And I'm on the second film now, the 1978 sequel to the original 76 movie from Richard Donner. This is a different directing group. And this is Damien, The Omen 2, again from 1978. This film is a little bit shorter than the first film. It's more about an hour and 45 minutes or so. Let me tell you, I went into this immediately trepidatious because I really liked the first film, and mind you, in case you didn't see my review for the first movie, I've never seen any of these films before all the way through, aside from the remake. So I didn't really know anything about them aside from bits and pieces from TV on the AMC Fear Fest of the original movie. Never saw it all the way through until now. Never seen this one at all. Didn't even know there was 4 films before the remake. And Damien Omen 2 was fascinatingly good. It should not have been as good as it was for the kind of subject matter it is. I don't know if there's books these are based on. I did a little bit of research and it says there are, but I'm not sure if those are novelizations of the movie or what. They have to be a book. They have to be a book series. But there's like 7 of those things. But even so, Damien, Omen 2 is the movie we're going to talk about now, though, and this is more about Damien when he's a little bit older, maybe 5 or 7 years, I think is what it said, after the events of the first film. And he has been now adopted into his uncle's family, with his uncle's wife, and their son. Well, it's not even their son. It's the husband's son from his first marriage. And so Damien and this cousin of his are pretty close, kind of like brothers a little bit. But Damien is starting to have weird things happen more and more. Apparently that stuff's never stopped after the first film. Of course, Damien is the young Antichrist, who doesn't even know yet that he is going to become the Antichrist and kick off the Book of Revelation events from the Bible and stuff. So this movie, I thought it should have focused more on Damien in his kind of, oddly enough, I don't like to call it this, but for this situation, it basically is this, a coming-of-age journey into becoming the Antichrist in this situation. I was thinking how weird that would be for a young man. What could convince Damien to do the things that the Bible says he eventually will do? And I do think this film kind of takes that for granted. He does just kind of read that stuff and go right into it. But I'll get more into that later, even though this is a spoiler-free review. And instead of focusing mainly on Damien, or maybe Damien and his cousin's relationship, this focuses a lot on his rich uncle and his wife and what's going on with them, a current relative that lives with them as well, or has come to visit them, an older lady, Aunt such and such, I don't know what her name was, but she's begging them to divide Damien and the younger son, nephew, whatever he is, away from each other, send them to different military schools and not the same one that they eventually go to within the first 20 minutes of the movie. Because she doesn't trust Damien. There's something about Damien that rubs her the wrong way, and she has a feeling that he might be some kind of evil for some reason. She doesn't go as far to call him the Antichrist or anything like that, but she knows something's off with him, even though, and props to the actors, Damien seems like a really well-rounded kid. The actor playing him makes him very likable, which is weird for a younger actor that couldn't be more than 10 or 12 in this movie. He does a really good job. Props to that kid. He's older than me. He's a grown man, probably in his 40s or 50s now, I'd guess. Maybe 50s, 60s, I don't know. But he's older than me, but he did a great job in this movie, which I was very impressed with. But anyway, there's a whole big battle about family fortune, because this family is very rich. They own quite a big industry. And there's some statues and different things found overseas that happen to tie back to possibly Damien, which are pretty wild. They seem to be predictions of the end of the world and Book of Revelation events like the Horror of Babylon and that kind of thing. Very interesting stuff as a Christian myself that I didn't expect to see in this series. So prevalent and so well made, It was kind of cool, to be honest with you. I don't really see, again, and I have to say this about this movie, just like I said it with the first film when I reviewed it right before this, I was very, very impressed as a Christian with how respectful this is to the Bible, which I know it was the 70s, but I'm not used to seeing that with movies. It was very weird and very uncommon even then to see that kind of thing. But this was very well made when it comes to the character drama stuff. And let me tell you, as I said in my review for the first film, this series is basically a slasher series. It's Final Destination before Final Destination existed. This movie maintains that. There are some phenomenal practical effects and gore. Sometimes it can be silly, like an elevator scene. But dude, there's so much cool kills when it comes to killing in this movie. There are so many great slasher-type moments with a lot of blood, really good effects most of the time that really made this effective and pretty wild. One in particular involved a crow that keeps showing up every time that Damien is possibly going to kill somebody, not directly, but supernaturally with his Antichrist powers. That stuff was really rad, man, how they did it. The makeup for it, everything. I was very impressed, even though, like I said, some of it can be a little hokey or a little cheap compared to the original movie. But that slasher feel of cheapness, it doesn't escape it, despite the film being more of a well-rounded, more quality-made movie. I mentioned a moment ago, too, Damien and his cousin happened to be sent off to a military school, and one of the leaders there, the general there, is Lance Henriksen, of all people. But this is the weird thing. Lance Henriksen and another guy that works with the uncle happen to be telling Damien about what his future will be. I guess they're Satanists, I don't know, but they're telling Damien, like, hey, I know you don't know this yet, but you're going to become this. Go read the book of Revelation. You're going to read, I think chapter 13 was what they told him. Go read this. This is who you are. This is about you. This is what you're going to be and what you have to become. And I'm still not entirely sold on why Damien would do the things he did. Maybe part 3 will explain that more. I haven't started watching it yet. It's actually on the TV right now on my PS4, but I plan on watching that once I finish up this review. But that part I'm not entirely sold on, about how Damien just kind of goes for it, because he read about it. You know, it was a very weird thing, but I think by this time in Damien's life, when he's 12 or whatever, he seems to be getting the grasp that he is going to be evil, and that he may already be kind of evil, just a little bit. He already has some followers here with people like Lance Henriksen who are leading him but also following him. That stuff was fascinating. Lance Henriksen was really good in here too, by the way. By the way, just the acting in general was really good. I think everybody was good. The cousin was good, the uncle and aunt were good. I liked everybody in it. I thought everybody did a really great job. Even side characters did well, just like in the first movie. This is a very well-made sequel, something that should not have been as good as it was, which gives me hope for the other films, despite 4 being rated underneath like a 4 out of 5 stars on IMDb. And I think part 3 was like a 5 out of 10 or something, I don't know. But hopefully they're going to be good and be something I like and I appreciate, but we'll see how that goes. At the end of the day, though, I gotta tell you, between the practical effects, the gore, when it's there, the drama amongst the characters, the performance from the kid playing Damien and how they write Damien, yeah, it can be a little messy every once in a while, but we're talking like maybe 2 or 3 complaints in a movie that's almost 2 hours long that really flies by. The pacing is tight on, the storytelling is tight on, and overall, at the end of the day, it's very enthralling. It was a very good watch in general, and I had a good time with it, man. I never expected to start the Omen films and have such a good time so far. And again, I've only seen the remake, so I don't really know where it ends by the end of the series. And now we're getting the new film, the first Omen. We'll see how that turns out. But anyway, Damien the Omen 2, or Damien Omen 2, whatever the title is supposed to be. If I had to rate the film on a 5-star basis, I would probably give this kind of a 4 out of 5 stars. I really like this. I could see myself rewatching this fairly often when I talk about the series or something, because this was actually surprisingly cool for what it had to do. Very impressive. Didn't expect it to be as good as it was. Kind of a surprise. Maybe 4 out of 5 is overrating it a little bit. I don't know, but I liked it. I thought it was good for what it was and what it had to do. And again, being kind of respectful to Christians like myself, well, it was kind of impressive to me. It definitely won me over with that. In the slasher elements, because I love slasher movies, that won me over too. But anyway, have you seen Damien Omen 2, or Damien the Omen 2, whatever the title of this movie is? Let me know what your thoughts and comments are about it down in the comment section down below. Is this possibly your favorite Omen movie? I could see people having that discussion just like they do with Halloween and Halloween 2 and Halloween 3. I could see that. But it's not my personal favorite. I will rank these films at the end of the series, but Damien Omen 2 was a good flick. I do recommend it in case you haven't seen it. But so far, the Omen series is a win, and we'll see if it keeps going well for the next 4 movies that come out. Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Catch you later. And 4 out of 5 stars. Goodbye.